Yeah, I hear you. Huh? It's supposed to be paid today. Oh, you all right, man? You ain't got to rush yourself. We dealing with this word right now. We'll deal with the phone bill another time. Genesis 49 about verse 8, y'all. Everybody hear me? Verse 8. Let's get it. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. See, now a lot of dudes look at this and they be quick to scream that this talk about Negroes in America and we the people that everybody going, out of all the tribes of Israel, that everybody gonna look to. But let's look at the matter. He say, you are whom the brethren gonna praise. And his hand gonna be in the neck of the enemies, and the children's fathers gonna bow down to him. Why would they be the one that he's gonna praise and that these people will bow down to him? We'll get to him in the neck of his enemies for a minute, but let's see why he the one his brethren gonna praise. Let's go to Esther the 6th chapter real fast. Esther. Esther 6. The book right before the... Yeah, Esther 6 and verse 6. We looking at, this is the book right before the book of Job.
Well, you said Exodus, right?
No, I said Esther.
Wait. Right before Job?
Yeah.
Esther.
Esther. Stinky.
Alright, give me a second to get there.
How many teeth you got, Stanky?
Alright, I'm at chapter 6.
Verse 6.
Esther.
Esther 6 and 6. It says, so Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delight to honor? Because obviously if you the one who the brethren gonna praise, and your father's children gonna bow down to you, that means you the one that the king wants to honor. Now Haman thought in his heart, and whom would the king delight to honor more than to myself? And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delight to honor, let the royal apparel be brought which the king used to wear, and the horse that the king ride upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal whom the king delight to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him that it shall be done to the man whom the king delight to honor. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew, that sit at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken. Now you see what he just said? He said, let nothing fail. So you know what that means? That means let everything be accomplished that I spoke. He said, then took Haman the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the city of the street, and proclaimed before him, thus it shall be done unto the man whom the king delight to honor. So it delighted the king to do this to Mordecai. Let's see if it delighted the father to do this to his son. John the 12th chapter, please. John 12 and 13. John 12 and 13. John 12 and 13. Matter of fact, make it 12. And it says, on the next day, much people that were come to the feast, when they heard that Yahshua was coming to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him, and cried, Hosanna, blessed is the King of Israel that come in the name of Yah. Hold on one second, y'all. No, somebody just texted me saying they wanted to get in. Was it too late for them to call? So you just pump your brakes there, little buddy. Pump your brakes there, little buddy.
You did it too late, man. You done start.
She all right. No. I wouldn't say that to her if they walked in the door late. You better be playing, because I'm going to play on you.
Punch me in there.
I bet
you. In the jaw.
That's what you ain't going to do. It says now, he took... And it says in verse 13, took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him and cried, Hosanna, blessed is the King of Israel that come in the name of Yah. So let's look at something right there. Hold this John 12 and look at Psalms 118. Because it said, blessed is this man that come in the name of Yah. Britt, do you remember how he came in the name of Yah? Do you remember that? 118 and 23. Psalms 118 and 23. I got you on there, Captain.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, how you doing?
Doing good.
That's outstanding.
Doing good. What y'all talking about?
We're going through something in Genesis 49. We're in Psalms 118 and verse 27 at this time.
Okay. Hold on one second. Oh, you need this one. I told you what.
Matter of fact, make it 24.
Okay, you said Genesis 49. You said y'all are in Psalm what? 118?
Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, we actually just started at verse 19.
Okay.
So,
18 verse 23.
no, we're gonna start at verse 19. But hold on, Brittany, do you remember what that means when he said he came in the name of Yah? Do you remember?
You asking me?
No. So when he said that he came in the name of Yah, please don't get that misconstrued of forth as this is talking about his actual name. We dealt with this a couple weeks back. When he said he came in the name of Yah, he said in John 17 that he manifested his name, his father's name, unto his brethren. This goes to Exodus 34 and verse 6 and 7, because he proclaimed the name of Yah before Moses. And he said, Yah merciful, gracious in truth, abundant in goodness and truth, forgiving sin and iniquity, but by no means clearing the guilty. So he manifested the attributes and character of his father to the people. That's what it means when he came in the name of Yah, because he came abundant in goodness and truth. He came with grace and mercy, and he came to forgive sins. And he manifested and showed all of those things unto the people when he said, I come in my father's name. But look at Psalms 118 and 19. See, look at this here. We could take something, Lord willing, we're going to come back to this here, because I see something else that we can use to further hammer home this point. Verse 19, it says, open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them and I will praise Yah. Remember what he told you in Psalms 50 and 23? You know what Psalms 50 and 23 say, little Murphy? Dwight, you know what I say? He said, he that offereth praise, glorify me. How do you offer praise to God other than offering the sacrifices of righteousness? Offering your body as a living sacrifice. Same way that Yahshua did. Remember it said in Ephesians 1, the Father received him as a sweet smelling savor because he offered himself up, didn't he? So you got to remember, we just dealt with that, didn't we? So you got to remember that you need to come into the gates of praise, which he talking about coming in the gates of praise. What is that talking about? Remember what he told you in John 10? I'm the what? I'm the door. You got to come in through the door. But let's see how he opened up them doors. Go to Revelation 3. Hold this Psalms 118. We'll come back. Look at Revelation 3.
Hello?
Yeah. Go to Revelation, the 3rd chapter, Drew. Revelation 3 and 7. So he said open up the gates of righteousness. So how them gates going to be open to you? Make it verse 6. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things say that he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that opened and no man shut, and shut and no man opened. I know thy works, and behold, I set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. But thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. So you can go back to Psalms 118. Now this is how the gate's going to be open. Yahshua got to open the door. Because he said open the gates of righteousness, and thank the Lord. You see how that played into what we started with before we even went into the book? The righteousness of Yah is what? We just dealt with it. What is the righteousness of God? The righteousness of God is faith. You know what I'm talking about? Then through that faith, you keep his commandments, which adds to your righteousness, because now you've done what Yahshua did. Because what his commandment is? To believe on him whom he sent, isn't it? That's his commandment. He said you need to believe on my son. And then he say all those that do righteousness, they're born of him. Now you see what this is? This is how the gates of righteousness going to be open to you, because you're going to open up your heart to believe the word and let him dwell there. Then when you open up your heart to let him dwell there, then guess what that can happen? You're going to obey the word in it. That means you're not going to do anything that's going to hinder your service to God. That means you're going to have a love and a faith and a fear for God in your heart, and you're going to execute his will to perfection. That's why he say you need to offer yourself as a living sacrifice to show the what? Perfect, holy, and acceptable will of God. When people look at you, do they see God, or do they just see a nigga pretending? See, that's what you have to look at. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of our people, they just like this here, like them niggas talking about fringes and changing your name and all that there. And you know what I'm talking about? That means absolutely nothing if your heart ain't right. You got to make sure your heart right. I just seen somebody post something the other day on a picture, and I feel the same way. You have to look at it this way. this way here, in everything that you do, but especially with the word, there is no such thing as try. You either gonna do it or you not gonna do it. Ain't no such thing as try. You know what I'm talking about? Because when, like I done told you before, when you say you gonna try to do something, what does that mean? You leave it open for? For failure. We ain't got no room for failure. Because if we lose this here, we lose for eternity. But go back to Psalms 118. He say, this gate of Yah into which the righteous shall enter. We in verse 20. So we already know. The righteous going to enter into that gate. He say he is the door. And any man that don't come in through the door, the same as a thief and a robber. See, a lot of people want to try to get in every other way, but they don't want to come in through the gate. You got to come in through the door. He said, I will praise thee, for thou hast heard me, and art become my salvation. The stone which the builders refuse has become the headstone of the corner. This is Yah's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day which Yah have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Now we got to know that the man who these people don't want to enter into, the stone which these men don't refuse, he done became the head of the corner. It should be marvelous in your eyes. Lord knows every time we get together, he let us see him somewhere in this book, so where we can get some understanding to believe on this man. So we can get some understanding to turn from whatever it was we doing, that we can be made acceptable to this man and bring every thought into the obedience of the Messiah, bring it straight into captivity, to be, as Paul put it, a prisoner of Yahshua the Messiah, a slave to the gospel. You got to ask yourself, are you a servant? Are you a slave to the word? Are you in bondage to the word? And we ain't talking about that bondage like them Christian people talking about. We talking about bondage, and that's what you serve. Are you in bondage to sin in the flesh and the world, or are you a slave in bondage to the word, to holiness, to righteousness, to the will of the true and living God? Now listen what else he say. He say, save now. Save now, I beseech thee, O Yah. O Yah, I beseech thee, send now prosperity. Because we just dealt with this last night about this prosperity, didn't we? Because what we supposed to do? We supposed to make ourselves poor that we could be what? That we could be rich. Because Yahshua did the same thing. He made himself poor that we could be rich. We need to be rich in faith. It don't make no difference to have a pocket full of money, a big old house, nice car, nice status, and you burn in hell. You got to sit there and you got to ask yourself that. Now this man say, save now, I beseech thee, send prosperity. We read it last night. He said we talking about the unsearchable riches of the Messiah. There's nothing on this earth that can compare to what he has to give. How bad you want his riches? Look what he say though. Blessed be he that come in the name of Yah. We have blessed you out of the house of Yah. See, right now, we saying blessed is the man who come in the name of Yah. Yahshua came in the name of Yah. He said, blessed be that man. But he also said, we blessed you out of the house of Yah. We blessing you out the house of Yah right now. Out the house of Yahshua with his word that you may dwell there. If you're willing to do what's required. If you're willing to do what's necessary. He say, God is Yah, which have showed us light, and bind the sacrifice with the cords, even unto the horns of the altar. Thou art my God, and I will praise thee. Thou art my God, and I will exalt thee. Now that's going to come into play in a few minutes about how he say he done showed us light. And that he done bound this man up for a sacrifice. Because we know he was a sacrifice. And you're going to see that in a minute. Y'all just bear with me. Go back to John the 12th chapter. Y'all just bear with me. This conclusion to the matter. We're going to tie it all in a minute. Back to John the 12th chapter. We're in verse 14. Because this going back to that Esther the 6th chapter, what we just read, tying in, starting off with Genesis 49 about you the one of your brethren gonna praise. John 12 and 14. It says, and Yahshua, when he found a young ass, sat thereon as it is written, fear not, daughter of Zion, behold, thy king comes sitting on an ass's coat. These things understood not his disciples at the first. But when Yahshua was glorified, then remember they that these things were written of him, and they had done these things unto him. Now in Matthew's account, it's got where the people walking around saying this, and the scribes and Pharisees told the Lord to tell them people to be quiet. He said if them people held their peace, the stones would cry out. Because if he coming in and he the man that the king delight to honor, isn't his brethren praising him by saying, Hosanna be and praise be to God in the highest, praise to the highest? Is that not who his brethren are praising? Because remember, he said, he that offer praise glorify me. So when they did that, did they not offer praise and glorify him? Which in turn glorified the Father, because the Father was in him and he was in the Father at the same time? No? Yes. Yes, Stanky. Stanky says yes. The baby says yes. Let's go back to Genesis 49. What else did he say right here? What else we got now? He said, now his hand going to be in the neck of his enemies. How was his hand in the neck of his enemies, y'all? Anybody know how Judas' hand was in the neck of his enemies? Anybody?
When he made himself like miserable on going back. I don't know.
Well, let's see how his hand was in shall be in the neck of his enemies. Let's see how that works. Let's go to Luke real fast. Do we want Luke? Well, we can look at Mark. Let's see what Mark says. Look at Mark 14 and 43. Matter of fact, make it 41.
Alright, I'm turning up.
You alright?
14.
And 41. Oh, Lord, bye. I ain't even do no regular deadlifts this week. Did some good mornings though. Yeah, man. And he said, and when he come the third time and saith unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. It is enough, for the hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hand of sinners. Rise up and let us go. He that betrayed me is at hand. And immediately, while he yet spake, come Judas, one of the 12, with a great multitude, with swords and staves from the chief priests, and scribes and elders. And he that betrayed him had given him a token, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Take him and lead him away safely. As soon as he was come, he goes straightway to him, and saith, Master, Master, and kissed him. And they laid their hands on him and took him. And one of them that stood by drew a sword, and smote a servant of the high priest, and cut off his ear. And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves to take me? I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and you took me not, but the scriptures must be fulfilled. And they all forsook him and fled. So you can see right there how he was in the midst of his enemies right there, wasn't it? All the men that hated him came up and snatched him. You know what I'm talking about? Because we just seen how he was the one his brethren was going to praise, but at the same time he was going to be in the midst of his enemies. They had to snatch him. But I want y'all to see something else. He said, there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth cast about his naked body, and the young man laid hold on him. And he left the linen cloth and fled from the naked. Fled from them naked. So do y'all anyway, y'all know where that's located at? You know that's located in the scriptures. You know that's it, but it just didn't take off running butt naked for nothing. Anybody got a general idea what that's at? Nobody? Let's look at Amos. It says right here in verse 51, it says, there followed him a certain young man having a linen cloth cast about his naked body, and the young man laid hold on him. And he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. Anybody got a general idea where that's located at? Because he fulfilled in the scripture right there. That just, but it just ain't take off running naked for nothing.
I just got to read that. Is it Ezekiel?
Let's see. Let's go to Amos, y'all.
Where you go with that?
Let's go to Amos. Amos 1 and 11. I say Amos 1 and 11. Amos 1 and 11. 1 and 11.
So that old or new?
Old Testament. I got you, homie. That's after Psalms. That's after the book of Joel. And before Obadiah.
Alright, what chapter?
2, pardon me. Verse 11. Amos 2 and 11. And he's saying, I raised up of your sons for prophets, and your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel, saith Yah? So you say, Yah said, I done rose up prophets for you, even rolled up Nazarites who separated themselves unto me. Which if you take on the spirit of Yahshua the Messiah, aren't you a Nazarite? We'll deal with that at another time, because a Nazarite is somebody who took a vow to separate themselves to Yah. Now if you take on, now we know we let our yea be yea and our nay be nay. We don't make no vows. But if you take on Yahshua the Messiah, you done made yourself a Nazarite. Ain't you sanctifying yourself in holiness? Sanctifying, didn't he say sanctifying by thy truth? Thy word is true. And he said he sanctified himself by the truth. So if you take on Yahshua, ain't you by reason a Nazarite? You ain't got to stop drinking no wine, because we don't drink no wine no way. Ain't got no business getting drunk. He said don't be messing with no wine and getting drunk on that, which is excess. Why would you be drunk off the spirit? Why don't you sip on that? You know what I'm talking about? You got a lot of Israelites, they got ain't no problem with getting drunk. That man said you can't be no drunker to get in. Why even risk it? Some people don't know when to stop. Go ahead. Yeah, don't mess around with it. You know, some people, one glass of wine, they done. Some people, it might take 5 or 6, but when that man say ain't no drunkards getting in there, why even take the chance? Is it that serious? I just seen somebody the other day claim they in the word, talking about they on that hand and they sit in here pissy drunk. You know what I'm talking about? Now how that's going to work? That man say ain't no drunkard getting in there. Is really that little sip, that little buzz, is it really worth? You want to chance your soul on a buzz? Just say screw it, man. Just wait till Passover, take your sip on communion and let it be done on then and leave it alone. But guess what now? But he said, but you gave the Nazarite wine to drink. You see what he told? So you give him the wine to drink. Remember, Nazarite don't drink no wine. It means he's separated. So we got to look at that. If you're going to sanctify and separate yourself, somebody come offering you, oh, it ain't no sin to drink no wine. Yeah, it might not be. But guess what, though? I ain't sipping none. Don't bring none of it in my house neither. I don't even want a bottle of wine in my house. It's not Passover. Why they sitting here? Sure don't want no hard liquor. Don't want no beer, no nothing. I'm going to be clean. I'm going to sanctify myself. This is the whole key thing we got to remember. We literally have to be sanctified. We cannot be doing what the people in the land doing. We cannot be doing what the people in the world doing. We just can't do it. And then not turn around and profess that we children of God. Did we deal with this last night? I'm going to tell you, I got it close to me so y'all can hear me. Y'all hear me, Brittany and Clubber? Yeah. I'm trying to, y'all just bear with me. Now listen what he say. He say, but and commanded the prophet, saying, prophecy not. Because see, the problem is, don't nobody really want to hear what this book say. You know why people don't want to hear what this book say? Y'all hold on. Go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 8. We'll show you why people don't want to hear what this book say. Matter of fact, make it verse 7. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 7. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 7. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 7. It's probably because it was better when we were sitting at that table. Phone closer to me. And for me to be hunched over and it's in my lap. That's too late now. And he says, yes ma'am. He said, for God has not called us under uncleanliness, but under holiness. So God ain't called you to do nothing defiled. God done called you to be separated. God done called you to be separated. So you got to sit there and look at that there. Have you separated yourself? In all of your ways and actions, is your lifestyle becoming of holiness? Is your lifestyle becoming of the profession that you claim? Have you sanctified yourself from your family that are sinners and contrary to the word? Or friends? Or whoever? I ain't saying you ain't got to love these people, but what you running with them for? Don't make no sense. As I just was discussing earlier, when I was in the street, I wasn't no killer. So I ain't hanging with no killers. Don't make no sense to hang with no killers, because a killer gonna, after a while, he gonna expect you to do what he doing. So that's the only way he gonna trust you. You know what I'm talking about? You running with thieves, they gonna expect you to be a thief. Well, if you running for sinners, after a while, them people gonna try to get you to come over to their side. You're not gonna convert them 9 times out of 10. They gonna get you. That's why the man told you evil communications corrupt good manners. That's why he told you don't meddle with the people of the land, because surely they're going to turn your heart away from following me. Don't think you're strong enough to think that a son is not going to turn you over. The man say come out from among them and be separate and touch not the unclean thing. You just got to love them from a distance. I can't mess with you though. Not if you live in contrary. I can't do it, because eventually you going to get corrupted. Don't think these people not going to corrupt you. Please don't think that you're strong enough not to be corrupted by these people. You going to mess around? What we heard talking about? I say, I already know. That brother asked me the other day. And I understood where he coming from. People came down for Thanksgiving. They want to see you. I ain't coming around them. I ain't coming to eat. I ain't coming to talk. Because if I tell you I don't believe in Thanksgiving and I don't celebrate it, then I show up at your house. They'll say, I ain't going to eat, but I'm going to chill with you. I just sold myself to be a hypocrite, because why am I here? If I don't mess with it, I don't mess with it. That means that's everything go along with it. I understand where people be coming from. They want to see their people in town. But guess what, though? What you just said. Your people talking about, we don't never get to see the baby, but you know where I live, though. Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me you had to wait till November 28th to come see the baby? I'm here every day. You ain't want to see me too bad. Because next thing you know, you riding there, then you getting drunk. You eating this and eating that. And they be like, well, come see us on Christmas. And before you know it, you're going over there on Christmas because you want to see your people. Next thing you know, you're standing under the mistletoe. You know what I'm talking about? Next thing you know, you're singing Christmas carols. Next thing you know, you ride around looking at Christmas lights. Yeah, next thing you know, like you're saying, you got a Santa hat on, you all messed up in the game. All messed up in the game. You know what I'm talking about?
Christmas party.
You got to look at that. Like straight up, because my people already know, I ain't coming. Don't call me talking about come to a New Year's party. I don't mess with Janice. No two-faced God. I don't mess with that. I'm not coming for your goddamn party. It's nothing personal. You know what I'm talking about? But I love God more than I love you. Matter of fact, hold on. Look at verse 8. He said, he therefore that despise not man, but God, who have given unto us his Holy Spirit. So if your people get mad with you, they really mad with God. They're not mad with you. Because you got to be separated. Look at Luke 14 and 26. This is the Lord taking us here for a reason. I thank the Lord. He's taking us there for a reason. He's taking us right here for a reason. You got to look at something now. If you want to be the one, 26.
Oh, what's that one?
Yes, it is. Look what the man told you now. Because he keep reiterating this fact to y'all for a reason. Look what the man told you. 14 and 26. If any man come to me, if you gonna come to him and say you the one that we gonna praise, listen what he tell you. And hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters and yea, his own life also, he can't be my disciple. Ain't no way in the world you gonna put these people before God. Before this man died for you. Matter of fact, hold what you got. Look at 2 Corinthians 5. This man died for you. How you putting these people before him? How you putting yourself before him? How you putting what you want to do before him? This don't make no sense. Like, it ain't gonna do no. I appreciate it. It ain't gonna do no different. That thing just so, man. A lot of heavy lifting. Look at verse 14. 2 Corinthians 5 and 14. Listen what this man telling you now. For the love of the Messiah constrain us. If you love this man, it should constrain and restrain your behavior. It should restrict you in the things that you're doing, the places where you're going, and the people that you're hanging with. There's nowhere in the world you could be professing holiness and still running with sinners. Doesn't make any sense. That don't mean you looking down on them, but you already know. It's just certain things you can't do. When I stopped hustling, you think I went back in the street to hang out with my homeboy while they on the block selling dope? That makes absolutely no sense. Why am I going to be standing on a dope store when I don't sell dope no more? The man told you abstain from all appearance of evil. Man ain't tell you that for no reason. He said, because we thus judge if one died for all, then we're all dead. So if this man done died for everybody, why you ain't dead? Why you ain't killed yourself to what you want to do? Why haven't you mortified your members and put away uncleanliness and selfishness and covetousness and rebelliousness and stubbornness and all things that's contrary to this man's word? He say that he died for all, that all which should live not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. That's who you need to be living for. Shouldn't be living for what you want to do. What is what you want to do? What has it got you? You know, I used to ask Marie that all the time. You know what her answer used to be? Nothing. And I'd be like, why you still going after it then? You know what I'm talking about?
I was trying to find it for quiet. I was just trying to read. Like, I didn't know, like, the break room was, like, really crowded.
No, you all right. Oh, you talking to somebody else. You know what I'm talking about? But you understand what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not on break yet. I don't know. I'm not working yet. I haven't got on the clock yet. Alright.
But y'all hear me though?
Gotta move around.
I understand, man. But I'm asking y'all a serious question now. I want everybody, you can answer it out loud or you can answer it to yourself. Is what you wanted to do, what has it gotten you?
Actually, if they're more quiet, I can just go. I'm just trying to just, like...
Huh?
Anyone else, like, think...
Oh. Yes, they do. They have pots.
Oh, that's gross.
Alright.
Because you're promoting pooing in public. It's weird because you make a noise.
got a pot, you got a pot. So that's what you got to ask yourself. Now go back to Luke 14. That man said, this man, you need to live for the man who died for you and rose again from the dead. Now you know what's the significance of him saying rose again? Because what happens when you die? You come back what? Up what? A new creature. Born of the Spirit. Born of the Word. That means you walking in the newness of life. That means the things you used to do and the things you used to say, you just don't do it no more. Your daddy called. Y'all hold on for a second. Y'all bear with me for one moment, please.
Hello.
Yeah, just hold on for a second.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm trying to find somewhere to go.
My sister said go in the bathroom.
Huh?
My sister said go in the bathroom.
You said go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
weird,
that's
but
all.
it's quiet.
Yeah, he said that's where he's going to go.
One in the stall.
Nice to do that.
Yeah, that's what she said. Go sit in one of the stalls. Nobody goes in the bathroom and talks.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to interrupt. Can all y'all pray for this young lady named Dina Porter?
Mm-hmm.
She passed out on the street here.
Oh, man.
Just got the ambulance stuff up there.
Oh, my. Well, Lord be with her. I hope she will. Pray the Lord have mercy on her.
Just say something about her kidney stones. It's all.
Oh, boy. That's dehydration sound like.
Hey, is somebody calling to deliver a package? Nah, ain't nobody gonna deliver it.
Y'all just bear with me, man. He got a little small interruption. But y'all, but for y'all that's standing right there, do you understand that whatever the things that you doing, that's you gonna have to live for God now. If we gonna say we gonna come after this man, then we need to live for the man. We can't no longer seek.
Every other word you said.
I say no. I say
Every word.
no. We got it a little higher so y'all can hear me.
Hey, hold on 1 second, bud.
Oh, you get hugs.
Yeah. Stanky gives hugs now. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay.
Y'all hear me? You hear me, Brittany Glover? Sorry about that interruption. Hey, y'all, the baby gives hugs now. Just wanted to know. The baby gives hugs now. She didn't give any hugs to you.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, she used to give me a kiss. She gave me a hug a time or two. It's coming to run to get me now. Now let's go back to Luke 14 and 27, y'all. Luke 14 and 27. Now this man say if you don't hate your own life, you can't be his disciple. There's no way you're going to be able to be a student, be born of him if you're not willing to give something up. Look what else he say. And whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Now this man's hand was in the neck of his enemies and he was willing to suffer. He was willing to take that affliction. If you're not willing to bear your cross and take your affliction, how you going to be able to be this man's student? How you able going to be born of him? How you able going to be saved? Look what else he say. Which of you intending to build a tower, sit not down first and count the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. Now which one of y'all done sat down and you ain't counted what you got to do to be saved? Yahshua counted the cost and he delighted to do it. He despised the shame and endured the cross. How many of y'all done sat down and decided, you know what? Do I despise the shame and the mocking that I'm going to have to go through? Am I willing to endure the cross? That I might be exalted in due time? That I might humble myself under the mighty hand of God that he might lift me up in due time? How many of y'all done sat down and counted the cost? A lot of people open up this book and they ain't counted the cost yet. A lot of people love to say the statement, I paid the cost to be the boss, but a lot of people not willing to pay what's necessary to be saved. How many of y'all willing to pay what's necessary to be saved?
You gotta get chips.
No, I am.
Another snack.
Because you got to understand something now. If you ain't willing to pay what's necessary, you will go to hell.
You know the lie that we encountered a lot of that with that boy, because I encountered that yesterday. Jesus paid it all.
Yeah, I know he did. He paid to take death and sin off the table. Now what you going to give up so you can get that payment? He done bought you now. So guess what? When somebody buys something, that means, you know what you used to tell people when you buy something, it's mine, I can do what I want to with it, right? So guess what? He bought you with his blood. He can do what he wants to with you. Oh, you don't want to obey me? I will burn you. I'll burn you straight to hell. I built that house and I'll burn it down. Cause see, that's one thing I had to tell your little homeboy. We don't call his name because he ain't here to defend himself. But you know he's a stone cold idiot. You want to sit here and say you ain't got to keep God's commandments, this, that, and the other. Then he told me you condemning me. You go ahead and flee. I ain't condemned you. I just told you you was a strong candidate for hell. You know what it mean to be a candidate? That mean you in the running for something. Keep going contrary to God's word, and you're gonna be a strong candidate for the election of burning in hell. And don't nobody really want to stand up and tell nobody that. It don't matter. Israelites don't want to hear it. Sunday churches don't want to hear it. But somebody need to tell you. You a candidate now. You a candidate for going to hell. I don't have no desire to see you want to go to hell. I don't want to see that. We just read that a couple weeks ago. The man say he ain't got no pleasure in the death of him that died. How am I going to have pleasure in it? But I'm going to tell you though, when you do things you ain't got no business, or this man put it in my mind that somebody need to hear. Because it's stuff they doing. Hey, you going to hell. You keep doing what you're doing. Straight up. You gonna go. You got to sit there and look at it. You know what I'm talking about? Am I the most skilled man in the world in the book? No. But he done gave me a little son. And he allowed you to sit here and hear it, and you still go contrary to it? You's a fool. You know what I'm talking about? You got to sit there and look at that. Don't look at them Sunday people and other Hebrews who talking stupidity, and you be like, well, look at you niggas, y'all niggas dumb, this, that, there, and the other, and you get a word and you still go contrary to it. You worse than them. Don't be no fool now. You got to sit back and consider what the man giving you. If the man allowing you to hear a word to save your soul, that means he got love for you. Take heed to it. Do you notice the word hearken and take heed is always through the book? That means you need to listen. Listen to what the man telling you. Now listen what else this man telling you, because this is what you need to look at if you done sat down and you get that out your mouth.
Alright.
All right, till she swallows some baby lotion.
No.
So you say, always some lotion. Look at verse 29. Lest happily after he have laid the foundation is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying this man began to build and was not able to finish. How many people y'all done ran into who knew you before you got in the word? Now you say you dealing with the word. They ain't seen you in a while. The first thing they ask you still messing with that Bible? Because these people want to see if you going to fall off so they can mock you. You got to sit there and look at that. These people want to mock you. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. And for anybody that want to stay on the line, Lord willing, we get finished, pale, because we got to go right back over these fringes thing. You was there. We sat down and talked this man about you don't need no fringes, and the nigga went contrary. So now we got to put it on tape like we did with the 7 wives. And if a nigga got a problem with that, I'll put my phone number on it. They can call me themselves, because I'm about sick of a lot of these dudes. I promise I am.
Yeah, where your mom?
Hello?
Where the mom?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
So you got to ask yourself, man, you going to want, because guess what?
You going on broadcast, Wayne?
Yeah, I'm on the broadcast right now.
Oh, okay.
We recording this right now, and I'm going to record that part with them fringes, just like we did last night with them 7 wives. With them 7 women coming with one man, because we had to let these dudes know you ain't getting no multiple wives. If you get a multiple wife, you got more than one wife, you's an adulterer, you's a sinner, and you going to hell. Go back to Genesis.
Hey, so, like, about that, like, how did that work? Like, I could have sworn with somebody, like, it was either Isaac or Jacob that had more than one wife.
Jacob had 2 wives, but that was symbolizing Israel and Judah. We didn't even go through all that last night on that part, but we showed it out the law, how that was talking about the Lord, how he had 2 wives, and how he made his wife one, and that's why I say endeavoring to keep the unity of the spirit in the bond of peace. I said we dealt with that last night. Like I said, I got the video on the Ustream page. It's on the Facebook page. We dealt with this last night. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got the time to go back through it because we'd have to really go through some things on it. But we dealt with that last night. Yahshua got 1 wife. You can only have 1 wife. You got more than one, you in trouble. Pell was with us. Pell, didn't we manifest that straight out the law? Yeah, that wasn't number, but the book. I hear you, man. I know it's rough on you.
Books are hot.
Yeah, he at work. He's scarred. He's scarred. Now listen to what it said.
You posted up what you went over yesterday. It's on Facebook and Ustream.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Both of them is, and they both in the Seeking Salvation group. Dear. They on the Ustream page. I say they on the Ustream page. It's on the Seeking Salvation group page. It's on my page.
Okay.
You'll see it. It say 7 women coming to 1 man, and I tag Pale in it. It's on his page too.
Who is it?
Alright. I'm not
Yeah, cause matter of fact, they came up cause Cornell said something, and I say, you know what, screw it. We just gonna go over it then, and we gonna put it out there cause I know niggas ain't gonna like it, and I don't care if niggas don't like it. The book say what it say. You think you can get you more than 1 wife? You dead wrong. Who was that? Oh, my mom. And she done dipped just that fast. Mom dude's left? Oh. See, now look what he said. Hey, Mom. He said, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Let's see how your father's children gonna bow. Look at Genesis 27. Yeah, Genesis 27, man. Matter of fact, verse 26. Genesis 27, 26.
Alright, hold on, give me a second. Hold on, please. Alright, what verse?
26. Genesis 27, 26. It's saying it's and his and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, kiss me, my son. He came near and kissed him. He smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, the smell of my son is the smell of the field which y'all have blessed. So what let's go back to, y'all. That's that Ephesians, ain't it? That sweet smelling savor. Therefore God give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of earth and plenty of corn and wine, and let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. Now when did somebody's brethren bow down to him? Y'all know anywhere else where that happened at? There you go. Look at Genesis 37. He hit the nail on the head. Yep, Genesis 37.
Alright, hold on.
Verse 5. Because I just want y'all to see that ain't talking about no American Negroes in Genesis 49. Don't let nobody tell you that's talking about some American Negroes. This ain't talking about no Negroes. He don't know how to make the baby clean the baby nose regardless if the baby wants you to do it or not.
No, she right over there. I'm not gonna take you down. Someone else is over there.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it anyway. Genesis 37 and 5.
Alright, hold on, wait. I'm trying to get there. 37 and 5, right?
Yep.
Alright, hold on.
And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we are binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheep arose and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves stood round about it, and made obeisance to my sheep. And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. See, because these people didn't want to serve the Lord. Let's look at Matthew 20. I think it's Matthew 20 I want. Because when they told him who he was, they were like, we going to have to serve this dude? They ain't want to serve this dude.
You said, what we doing now?
Matthew 20. No, not Matthew 20. We find it is what I want. Why am I back killing me, man? Good grief.
You be alright. Man up, nigga. You know you told me about my thigh, nigga?
No,
Man
man.
up.
It's not look like this, look, man. I can't keep sitting like this. Hold on, go to the book of Luke. About verse chapter 19. Good grief. Look at verse 22. We'll make it verse 12, actually.
Chapter?
Luke 19 and 12. Because these men didn't want to...
Verse 12?
Yeah, and then we'll go back to Genesis to show you something. Huh?
That's what?
Luke 19 and 12.
Alright, give me a second. It's,
Luke 19 and 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. So you see all this already, how that's mentioned? We just dealt with it. If a man despised, he despised God. He don't despise man. This the whole thing. They despised the Father. They didn't despise the Lord. That's what they really hated. But drop down about verse 22. We ain't finna read all that. We read this not too long ago. He saith unto him, out of thy own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knew I was an austere man. Taking up that I laid down, and reaping that I did not sow. Remember what austere means, man? Brittany, you remember what austere means? Huh? Well, austere means rigorously self-disciplined, strict, and uncompromising. You remember that, little mother? Well, that's what it means. So the Lord just sat there and told you he's a rigorously self-disciplined man, and he's strict and he's uncompromised. That he will not bend none of his standards for anybody. He said, wherefore give thou the money into thy hand, into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with usury. And he said unto them that stood by, take from them that the pound, and give it to him that have 10 pounds. And he saith unto him, Lord, he have 10 pounds. For I say unto you that every one which shall be given, and from him that have not, even he that hath shall be taken away from him. But those my enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither, and slay them before me. Now you know him dealing with his brethren. Let's go back to Genesis. I think it's about verse 41. Chapter 41. Now you know that his brothers weren't slayed. Joseph's brothers weren't killed. But this was giving you a foreshadowing of the men who didn't want to have this man reign over them when he first got here. Let me look. It's Genesis 40. I want to say 50. Yeah, Genesis 50 and about verse 17. Because he said he had a dream that his brethren would bow down to him. Let's see if they did that. So shall ye say unto Joseph, forgive, I pray thee, now the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin, for they did evil unto thee. And now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of the God of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face, and they said, behold, we be thy servants. So they fell down to him, and they obeyed him, and made obeisance to him, didn't they? But you know what's the reason for that? Let's look at John the 3rd chapter, about the 14th verse. See, they was able to humble themselves so they could be healed. But even if you don't want to humble yourself to be healed, you still gonna bow. Stanky said, don't play with her.
Alright, what was that?
John 3rd chapter, 14th verse. John 3 and 14.
Alright, give me a second to get 3 and 14.
Because he said your brethren gonna bow down to you. That's the blessing. Because we know Yahshua got dominion. We'll see that in Luke 1. You shaking your head at that, or you shaking your head at the baby? Never mind.
Hold on. 3 and 14?
3 and 14. You still there, Brittany? You can hear me?
Stop.
Hey, Leah, just listen.
You know, wise.
No, hold on. Hey man, I think your phone died or something. Oh no, it didn't. You ain't got no signal though. There it go. He says, and Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. You know what that means? Any of y'all know what that means? That he said as the serpent got lifted up. What was the purpose of the serpent getting lifted up in the wilderness?
To be healed for heaven.
Yeah, and look on him and be healed.
Mm-hmm. What you say there, Drew? Let's look at Numbers 21. Somebody just said it. We'll read it off the book though. Let's see what the purpose of what that serpent being lifted up before. Numbers 21 and 1. Oh,
Alright, hold on. Let me get the 21
Right.
one.
no, man. It's aggravating. Because I can't
Man,
sit how I
yeah.
want to sit. They ain't got the pain. It's the aggravation of having to constantly shift and move.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to sit in one detailed position.
Oh, my bad. Oh.
How about your ribs?
Alright, I'm there.
Stop hitting me, sir. Hit me up.
Oh, he about to get hit in the face.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, play with it. Number 21:1. And when King Ardad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. And Israel vowed a vow unto Yah and said, if thou will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And Yah hearkened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites and utterly destroyed them and their cities. And he called the name of the place Hormah. And they journeyed from the Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people were much discouraged because of the way. So they was discouraged because of the way they were going. So this, because you already know, this is some stubborn, hard-headed people. And the people spake against God and against Moses. Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loathed this light bread. So they sit there and say they loathed the light bread. You know what that light bread was? Yes, sir. You anybody know what that light bread was? We ain't talking about no Marita neither. The light bread was that manna. We just read this last night. When the Lord told them they had to eat his flesh and drink his blood, he said, he asked them, does this offend you? And they say people stopped walking with him after that because they loathed that light bread, because they loathed the Lord. They hated the Lord. They hated the bread of life. That makes sense to you? Let's keep going. Verse 6. It's saying, Yah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against Yah and against thee. Pray unto Yah that he take away the serpent from us. And Moses prayed for the people. See, look at something. Go to Mark the 3rd chapter. Because he said we just blasphemed. Is pretty much what they just said. Ain't it?
Stop.
You said Mark?
Yep, Mark 3, about verse 27. Let's see what we got here. Make it 23. Matter of fact, we'll look at verse 22.
Mark 3, right?
Yeah, Mark 3.
What's that?
It is. It's just aggravating. The pain of it.
Verse 20 what?
21. Mark 3 and 21. And when his friends heard of it, they went out to lay hold on him, for they said he is beside himself. This is a man who's possessed with an unclean spirit. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he hath Beelzebub, and by the prince of the devils cast he out devils. And he said unto them, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? If Satan rise up, he said, if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Now I want y'all to look at James 1, because he just said, how can Satan cast out Satan? Look at James 1 real fast. James 1 and 5. Because he said if Satan casts out Satan, that means they're against each other. Oh boy, I ain't even messing with that.
Where's James at?
James is in the New Testament. It's an epistle before 1 Peter and after the epistle of Hebrews.
Alright, I'm there.
James 1 and 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that give to all men liberally, and upbraid not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, not wavering. So if you wavering in your mind that God is able to do it, he ain't gonna do nothing for you. For he that waver is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So it's the same thing, not just asking for wisdom, but how you gonna ask God to bless you and you double-minded? You want to go this way, you want to go that way. You want to sin some days, you want to be righteous other days. You say you just like a wave, you unstable.
Yeah.
And the Lord ain't going to do nothing for you. That means you got to be firm. You're either going to be with the Lord or you not. Matter of fact, look at Revelation 3. Oh, that just came to mind. Look what the man tells you. Revelation 3 and 15. Revelation 3 and 15. I know thy works. Don't think this man don't know what you're doing. He says, thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. Now, yes, some of y'all ain't never heard it before. How many of y'all like a cold cup of coffee? That drink coffee. Or a cold cup of hot cocoa. Who want that? You know what I'm talking about? Who want a cold cup of cocoa? Don't nobody want that. But guess what? The Lord don't want you cold neither. Who want a hot soda?
Hey, your phone breaking up here. I can't really hear you.
They make ice.
I say, who want a cold coffee or a hot soda? Because the Lord said, I'd rather you be cold or hot. Wouldn't you be pissed if you were good and thirsty and you reached for some water and he was good and hot? Yeah, I'm just saying, that's my whole point. You know what I'm talking about? Or you reach for a cold drink and it's not cold. I wanted a cold beverage. This is a warm beverage. Let's see what the Lord do with that. He so then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out my mouth. Man say, since I can't do nothing with you, I spit you out. You ever drunk something you thought was going to be cold and it was hot, you'll spit it out. I don't want it. Well, guess what? If you're going to play the fence or be double-minded, that's what the Lord going to do with you. Go back to Mark, the 3rd chapter. He going to spit you right on out. Is that for stankies? That's not for stankies. Because nothing is for stankies.
You said Mark?
Yeah, going back to Mark 3. Because remember what the man said, a house divided against itself, that house cannot stand. So a kingdom divided against itself, it can't stand. There's no way in the world you're going to be righteous some days and holy the next day. And sinning the next day. Or I'm going to be holy 3 days a week and sin for 4 days a week. That ain't going to work. Eventually God going to take you and he going to burn that house up. He going to turn you over to a reprobate mind and let you stay that way. Because remember what he told you in Romans 1. He said because you didn't want to retain God in your knowledge, he gave you up to do the things which are not convenient. Since you didn't want to do what he said, what's the point? After a while, you get tired of whooping, churning, and chastising them and putting them on punishment. They don't want to listen. After a while, what you do? I'm going to kick you out my house. What did he do to him in the wilderness? He said, I swear in my wrath, they're not getting in here. He gave him space. He gave him time. He said, these niggas kept trying me 1 time, 2 minutes. Y'all can't come in here. I'm tired of whooping you. I'm tired of tightening you up. You don't want to do right. So guess what? I don't want to do right neither. You're going to be contrary to me. I'm going to be contrary to you. I'm not letting you in my house. Verse 26. If Satan rise up against himself, he be divided. He cannot stand but have an end. You see the whole point here? If you divide it, you got an end. Your end going to be burning with fire and worms. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods except he will first bind the strong man. Then he will spoil his house. Truly I say unto you, all sins shall be forgiven unto the sons of men, and blasphemies wherever soever they shall blaspheme. Because that's what they were doing in the wilderness when they spoke against Yah, spoke against Moses. And we know what? Moses is a prophet like unto Yahshua. So when they were blaspheming against Yahshua, speaking against him, it's the same thing. The whole book about the Lord. Same thing was being recreated when they were speaking and murmuring against him. Remember how we read in John 6 where he told his disciples, don't murmur. Does this offend you? Huh? He said, don't murmur. This saying offend you? And guess it did offend them. They start walking with him. I don't need you to open that. Don't touch my water, man. I don't know where your hand's bent. Could have been rubbing on your bone.
What?
Wow.
Enjoy.
Wow. But he say, but he that shall blaspheme against the Holy Ghost, he have never forgiveness, but is in danger of eternal damnation. Because they said he have an unclean spirit. So you got to sit there and look at it. If a man got the spirit and he working the work by the spirit, and you say he got a devil in him, you just blasphemed. You just spoke against the divine nature of God. You done. You done. Now they didn't do that in Numbers here. We go back to Numbers 21. They didn't do that in Numbers there. But that's an ugly thing. You got a lot of people, they shoot their mouth off all the time. You don't know what you're speaking against. You're going to mess around and speak something to the point you're going to get yourself cut off.
Numbers what?
Back to Numbers 21. Because it said Moses prayed for the people. Who else can pray for the people but the Lord? He the intercessor. That's what Moses was showing right there when he said they came to Moses and said, we have sinned. We've spoken against Yah and against thee. Pray unto Yah that he may take away the serpents from us. So what was Moses being right there? An intercessor. Same thing with the Lord. He was an intercessor. And Yah said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he look upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. So when we already know who's the father of sin? Satan is, right? So when you mess with Satan, that means that serpent done bit you. And if you've been bit, you're going to die. But this man said if you look upon this thing on this pole, you're going to live. But let's look at Isaiah 45. About verse 22.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Make it 21. Matter of fact, make it 20. Isaiah 45 and 20. Isaiah 45 and 20.
45 and 20.
Yeah. Isaiah 45 and 20. Listen what he tell you. Matter of fact, make it 19.
Alright, hold on, let me get the...
Matter of fact, I like verse 18. Isaiah 45 and 18.
Alright.
It says, for thus saith Yah that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He have established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yah and there is none else. Who created the heavens? Who formed the earth and made it? Who did that?
Just God himself.
So who did that? Who is God? Yahshua himself. Book tell you the man made everything. We just read that last night. He made the world by him. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. What he told him in, hold that. Look at Luke real fast. Luke 24. Or is it 23? Go to John. Make it John 18. John 18. Hold this Isaiah 45. This man say he ain't spoken secret. Nor in a dark place in the earth. So look at John 18. Verse 20. Let's see if they're talking about the Lord. Let's see how the Lord fulfilled that one out. Because that's about him too. John 18 and 20. Look what he said. Yahshua answered, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort. In secret, I have said nothing. Ain't that what that same thing we just read right here about him not speaking in secret in a dark place in the earth? Ain't that saying the same thing? The man told you I ain't said nothing in secret. The man told you anything spoken in the dark going to be brought to the light. If you're going to deal with the Lord, we don't do nothing in secret. We do everything in the open. Go back to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45 and 19. He said, I said unto the seed of Jacob. Let's start on verse 12. He said, I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I have not said unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. I, Yah, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Man told you the words that he speaks is spirit in our life. Man, anything this man telling you to do is right. Can anybody say there's anything wrong this man telling you to do that's wrong? I didn't think so. He said, assemble yourselves and come near, and come. Draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save. So this man already told you need to come near. Man told you in Matthew 11. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, I'll give you rest. Man say you need to come here. If you escaped of the nations, that means you done sanctified yourself. Like we just dealt with earlier about you done took a Nazarite vow. You done sanctified yourself to God. Say, come on out from among them. They around there playing the wood. The images that can't save. What's the point? Verse 21. Tell ye and bring them near. Yea, let them counsel together. Let them take counsel together. Who have declared this from the ancient time? Who have told it from that time? Have I not Yah? There is no God else beside me. A just God and a Savior. There is none beside me. We know Yahshua the Savior. He say ain't nobody standing next to him. Look what he tell you to do. Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God and there is none else. Man just told you that whoever got put up on that pole who looked upon it, they'll be saved. And he telling you to do the same thing. And this man say that he God and he saved and ain't nobody else. Look at verse 23. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness and shall not return. That unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Surely shall one say, in Yah have I righteousness and strength. Then we just read that in that 1 John 3 and 7. The little children, let no man deceive you, that everyone that doeth righteousness is righteous as he is righteous. And everyone that is born of him do righteousness. The man just told you that right now. See, surely you going to say, I have in Yah, in Yahshua, you got righteousness and strength. Even to him shall men come, and all they that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. And Yah shall all the seed of Israel be justified, and shall glory. And we already know if you the seed of Israel, I mean you born of the word. So I mean you're going to be justified by faith in the Messiah. And you'll be justified. And all they that are incensed at him, they're going to be ashamed. Because what he said in Revelation 1 and 7. They're going to wail and holler because of him, right? even those that pierced him. So let's look at Zechariah 12 and 10. Let's see about that. Yeah, Zechariah 12 and 10. That's Old Testament. Right before the book of Malachi, second to last book of the Old Testament.
Alright, where we at in Zechariah?
Verse 10.
Well,
I didn't say 12. I said verse 10.
What chapter?
12 and 10.
yeah, but you didn't say verse 12. I mean, chapter 12. That's what I was trying to say.
Zechariah 12 and 10.
Amen.
He says, and I will pour upon the house of David, which will be Judah, which will be the Jews, and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the spirit of grace and supplication. We know that happened on Pentecost. Poured out the Holy Ghost. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him, as one mourn for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as in one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. Because that's what happened in John 19. When they pierced him, they looked upon him. I said that's what happened in John 19. They pierced him and they mourned for him. But you see how they say he had to look upon him whom they had pierced? Because what does the law say? Cursed be he that hangeth from a tree. You know what I'm talking about? We read it last night in Galatians. The Messiah was made a curse for us, wasn't it? Because it was written, cursed be he that hangeth on a tree. This man came to take away sin. Everybody that look upon him going to be saved. Everybody that look to him and obey him going to be saved. That's what the book say. That's the whole purpose of doing that. Because he the one your brethren going to bow down to. Philippians 2. Hey, pal, and last night I seen a dude try to use that Zechariah 12, man, to say that the Lord came back.
Maybe what?
Try to use that Zechariah 12 as his justification for saying the Lord came back. And 70 AD. Yeah, that's what I said. And I said nobody but the Lord himself could have gave him that delusion to think that's what that was talking about. Man say they teaching false hope to tell people that this man coming back, that he ain't coming back. You fulfilling the book. And guess what that means, y'all? Wait for it. Wait for it.
What are we reading that now?
Philippians 2. Somebody going to hell.
What?
Philippians 2. Philippians 2. Verse 6.
Philippians?
Philippians. That's real, y'all.
Oh, the PH?
PH. The book after Ephesians. The epistle after Ephesians and before Colossians. Yeah, somebody going to hell, y'all. When the Lord give you over like that one there, somebody going. Yeah, 2 and 5.
You're looking at the table of contents.
Because that's a crying out shame. You telling people this man came back in 70 AD. He said, let this mind be in you, which was also in the Messiah Yahshua, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself. Now this man said, you need to let this mind be in you. Now we know he's saying it's not robbery to make yourself equal with God, because the Lord thought that as well. But we're not dealing with that point today. But he said he didn't make himself of no reputation. He didn't go around telling people who he was, this, that, that, and the other. Wasn't no need to. He said he took upon him the form of a servant. So you need to take upon you a form of a servant and obey this man's word. And was made in the likeness of men. And being found fashioned as a man, he humbled himself. So that means you need to humble yourself. You need to humble yourself to the word. That's why he said the meek going to inherit the earth. He ain't talking about just being humble with one another. He talking about humbling yourself to the word. Remember we read that in James 1. He say receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. How you going to be able to save your soul if you can't even humble yourself to obey the word? How's that going to happen? How's that going to work?
You in verses 5 through 8?
Yeah, I'm in verse 8 right now.
Alright, I'll see where you at.
And he said he became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. How many of y'all willing to be obedient even if it costs losing your life? Hold what you got and go to Revelation 12 and 11. Go to Revelation 12 and 11. This is what the man tell you now. Revelation 12 and 11. He said they...
Hold on, I'm not done. Wait. Well, hold on. Alright, I'm now.
All right, he said, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto the death. Remember what we dealt with in the blood? What's in the blood? Y'all remember what the law says in the blood? Huh? Y'all don't remember what the law says that's in the blood? What it say? It says life in the blood. So how they were able to overcome it by the blood of the Lamb? Because by covering themselves in life, they was able to overcome it. Because what did he say? All those that overcome the world, they what? They born of God. They born of God. So if you covered by the blood, it means you born of God. That's how you able to overcome the man, because you standing on God's word. Remember we read it in Hebrews 12 last night. He despised the shame and endured the cross. You're going to have to be able to do the same thing. Go back to Philippians 2. What make you think you're going to be any different? Now it said that even the death of the cross, this man humbled himself and endured and was obedient. How many of y'all going to be willing to stand on this man's word even if you die? What the Lord told you. Don't fear him that can kill the body. Then after that, he ain't got nothing else he can do. He said you need to fear him that can cast his body and soul into hell. You need to fear him. He said, wherefore God hath also highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahshua every knee should bow, of the things in heaven and things of earth and the things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahshua the Messiah is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So ain't that mean all his brethren gonna bow down to him then? What we started in Genesis 49? Has that truly been established? That they gonna have to look at it? Don't let nobody tell you Genesis 40. Don't let nobody come at you with that 12 tribes chart talking about that's talking about some black folks in America. That's utter insanity. Go back to Genesis 49. You just seen that there's no way in the world verse 8 can be talking about some Negroes. Have we just went through that and showed that ain't talking about no black people in America? Who is that talking about, Dwight? You hear me talking to you, boy? We in Genesis 49 and 9. You heard me talking to you, boy? I'm talking to my brother-in-law. You heard me talking to you, boy? Who Genesis 49 and 8 talking about? Don't worry about it. Soon as this camera go off, I got somebody I got to punch in the face.
Oh, but he ain't crazy. Might be a little dumb, but he ain't crazy. Look at it.
Yeah, you better be lucky. 49 and 9. Now we done established that this is talking about Yahshua. Does anybody know what the name Judah means?
What do you mean, like royalty? Something like that?
No, it means praise. Means praise. It's in Genesis 29. All the name meanings of the names of the son of Jacob, though. It means I will praise Yah. That's what it means. And we know Yahshua praised Yah in everything that he did and everything that he spoke. But look at verse 9. It says, Judah's a lion's whelp. For from the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? So who gonna raise the Lord up? Say he couched down. If a lion couched down, that means he ready to strike, ain't him? Ain't that what that means? If a lion couched down, he ready to strike.
Good boy, sleep.
You know what I'm talking about? Because he resting right now. Because he in heaven, right? What is he expecting to do? Hebrews chapter 2. He said he a couch lion. Who gonna rouse him up? We're going to the letter of Hebrews, epistle of Hebrews. No, it ain't Hebrews 2 that I wanted. Might be Hebrews 7.
I'm feeling weak, man. I don't feel good.
It's unfortunate. Hopefully you feel better. Feeling bad it's never good. It kind of sucks.
You got to poop?
I don't have to poop. Yeah, but that's not what I wanted. What is the verse at is what I'm looking for, the verse that I wanted. Here we go. It's Hebrews 10. That's what I wanted. Hebrews 10 and 12. That's such a dry scalp. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God, from henceforth expecting till his enemies be made his footstool. So right now, he just a lion. He waiting to be roused up, because he chilling right now. He chilling right now. But this man coming back to strike forth with wrath. Let's look what Jude say that wrath gonna be. Because that's the same thing happened. We mentioned it earlier. That's the same thing happened to them in the wilderness when they were back there murmuring. Jude 1 and 14. Or Jude verse 14. Because it ain't but one chapter. Jude 1 and 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord come with 10,000 of his saints. Now I want to know when he came back with the 10,000 of his saints in 70 AD and ain't nobody catch that. Because they, what you say, people be still be talking about that to this day. But they thing is, they say when he said he was coming on the clouds of heaven, that was referring, he used the Roman army to execute judgment. But he said he was coming back. He didn't say nothing about no Roman armies. He said he was coming back. Say they were going to see him. Now how he came back in 70 AD ain't nobody seen him. We're talking about some Nero and his armies don't count. Some old sissies and some togas don't count. He said to execute judgment upon all, and to avenge all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. That's what happened when he killed them in the wilderness with them serpents. He took them out of there for their hard speeches that they were speaking against him. He going to take people out of here again for speaking against him. He said these are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouths speak great swelling words. Them dudes that keep pushing that nonsense, that's what they doing. They speaking great swelling words. You know why? Having men's person in admiration because of advantage. You can get anybody to believe something that's dumb when you trying to take advantage of them. I don't see how a grown man could sit there and tell people this man done came back here. Why? Where's the throne at in Jerusalem? Why are people still dying? Didn't the book say people will stop dying when he get back here? Dude actually used John 5, Pale, when he said all judgment was given to the Son. But why you want to read the rest of it when he say he'll give it that everybody in the grave gonna hear his voice? Why ain't nobody came out the grave yet? Why would I utterly refuse to walk in the graveyard to this day? Because there's a bunch of dead people in there. I ain't going in no graveyard. I just don't do it. I ain't gonna do it. I don't mess around with them. Look at Revelation 1 and 7. I don't mess around with them. I ain't got no business around them. Can't nobody talk to you. I remember somebody told me that. Just talk to him. I said, that'd be kind of weird sitting there talking to a headstone. They can't talk back.
I'm not putting flowers on the grave. That's the dumbest thing in the world, I think.
Revelation what?
1 and 7. You know, I understand why people do it, but shoot, man. Truth be told, man, once you hit the grave, man, I'm not going back out there, man. It's not going to bring you back. It's not going to make me feel like, well, you know, I came out here and talked with them. Because after a while, you ain't nothing but in a box and some bones. You ain't heard nothing. You can't see nothing. I put them flowers up there. You can't tell people like this. How could you defile somebody's grave? Hey, man, they don't know. And I guarantee you they don't care. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? I guarantee you this here. They going to care when they open up their eyes again and they lift it up in hell. They'll care then. But other than that, they don't care nothing about you tearing their grave up. They don't know what's going on. He say, Behold, he come with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. I doubt seriously everybody, every race of people on the earth wailed in 70 AD. But this man say, who gonna rouse him up? We know the Father gonna rouse him up. We read it last night. That man coming back with a two-edged sword. He coming to cut necks. What they told you, Wu-Tang Clan told you back in the day, protect your neck. You ain't gonna be able to protect your neck in that day. You ain't gonna be able to do it. Go back to Genesis 49. You're going to be good and done. It say, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So how do you know the scepter won't depart from his feet? How do we know this here? Let's see how we know it. Look at 1 Chronicles 5 and 1.
Well, you said Genesis what verse?
That was 49 and 10.
Genesis 49 and what verse?
That was verse 10.